You may have heard this tale before. In fact, you may have heard me tell it. But like any powerful myth, it bears retelling, and fresh meaning may emerge at different times. A man named Si Wang owned a beautiful mare, which was praised far and wide. One day, this beautiful horse disappeared. The people of his village offered sympathy to Si Wang for his great misfortune. Si Wang said simply, "Good fortune, ill fortune, who can say?" A few days later, the lost mare returned, followed by a beautiful wild stallion. The village congratulated Si Wang for his good fortune. He said, "Good fortune, ill fortune, who can say?" Some time later, Si Wang's only son, while riding the stallion, fell off the horse and broke his leg. The village people once again expressed their sympathy at Si Wang's misfortune. Si Wang again said, "Good fortune, ill fortune, who can say?" Soon thereafter, war broke out, and all the young men of the village, except Si Wang's lame son, were drafted, and they were all killed in battle. The village people were amazed at Si Wang's good fortune. His son was the only young man left alive in the entire village. But Si Wang kept his same attitude. Despite all the turmoil, gains, and losses, he gave the same reply. Good fortune, ill fortune, who can say? Since the election returns came in last Tuesday evening, I've watched and listened to an extraordinarily wide range of emotional reactions to the results from some of you and those in our wider community, and from commentators around the country and the globe. My own reaction, my personal reaction, has been largely one of lament. Lament, mixed with a recognition of the grim reality of the human condition. A reality mournfully finding voice in one of singer-songwriter Lucinda Williams' early songs. If we lived in a world without tears, how would misery know which back door to come through? How would trouble know which mind to live inside of? How would sorrow find a home? Yet the blues are not my natural home. Misery, trouble, and sorrow visit from time to time. But Christian hope, mingled with an ambition to live in the present, is the place where I naturally reside. I've struggled all week with what to say to you this morning. Part of the problem with being your priest at this time and finding words that can be of some comfort, some consolation, or of some promise is that there are so many different reactions and accompanying emotions arising among us. Some of you face the future with great fear. Others are riddled with anxiety. Some are shocked. Some of you are resigned to what the future holds. Anger is a common emotion. There's dismay. Others have already plunged into action, seeking to implement a vision of the future. And there are those who now rejoice and are eager to see what transpires. I'd like to ask that you get in touch with your primary emotional reaction. Please close your eyes. Now take a deep breath and let it out. Take a very deep breath and hold it. Hold it for a moment. Now let it out slowly. Place your feet flat on the floor. Let your shoulders relax and fall away from your neck. Take another deep breath. Now think over this past week and conjure up the primary emotion you have felt. Call it out silently. Name it. Stay with that emotion for a moment and just breathe. Feel it. Recognize the way it makes you feel. Now recognize that the emotion you now feel has no power over you. It's as fleeting and insubstantial as the breath. Whether your emotion be fear, anger, dismay, or elation, let it go. Allow the emotion to dissipate. Breathe it in, let it out. Take it in and release it into the air, allowing it to drift away. Amen. Now believe me, I am not for a moment diminishing the significance of the results of the election last Tuesday. We don't know what the future holds for our country. What I'm suggesting is that we not react like the people in Sewing's village, who were alternately elated and dismayed with the events moving through their lives. Instead, I am suggesting that we follow the wisdom of Sewing and regard what happens to be what appears to be gains and losses with the same dispassionate and ultimately honest reaction. Good fortune, ill fortune, who can say? The novelist George Saunders has written, in a world full of people who seem to know everything, passionately, based on little and often slanted information, where certainty is often mistaken for power, what a relief it is to be in the company of someone confident enough to stay unsure. That is, perpetually curious. That's what I'd like to believe we have here at the Church of the Holy Trinity and at the Church of the Redeemer. A collection of people confident enough to stay unsure, to stay perpetually curious, a people who hold their opinions lightly, a people who manage to step back and look at their emotional reaction to events and to hold those emotions lightly as well. What freedom comes from living lightly in this world. In a recent book about the life of Hannah Arendt, Lindsay Stonebridge writes, having a free mind means turning away from dogma, political certainties, theoretical comfort zones, and satisfying ideologies. It means learning instead to cultivate the art of staying true to the hazards, vulnerabilities, mysteries, and perplexities of reality. Because ultimately, that is our best chance of remaining